Hey everybody, I'm just going to do a quick unboxing of the Hannah MP watercolor art set. I've been working out of this new book that my husband got me because I wanted to try doing real watercolors for my merch shop. And it said to get a really good high quality watercolor kit. Instead of getting the one that was recommended in the book, I saw this one for a little bit more, but it had way better reviews. So let's see what's inside this. I love the art on the box. I'm probably going to tear the box up getting into it though. That's actually one of the paintings that Hannah did. She's very skilled at watercolor and actually has her own YouTube channel. This kit, so you can see on the back, there's Hannah. And there's everything that comes in the kit. And I like this chart because it shows how opaque the watercolors are. And it shows their light fastness, which means how much they can actually stand being on display in your home. Here we've got the watercolor paper, but I'll get to that in just a second. I want to check out the actual kit. You can see this is a pretty big kit. I've never gotten a kit that's just dedicated to watercolors. I mean, I've gotten it in those kits that's basically an all-in-one art kit, but never just for watercolors. So we've got our mixing tray here. And if you notice, there's these little things that you turn. If I can get my nails in there to do it, that'll hold this tray in place. That's pretty important. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get that. If I can get that in there. This is where you basically mix your colors. I'll get that fixed off camera because for some reason I cannot get that to slide over. So we're not going to worry about that right now. We've got this that tells about it along with the instructional videos by Hannah. Shows a little bit about how you do certain different techniques. Gives you a few tips, tricks. That's pretty cool. And these are the watercolors. And we've got this little plastic sheet that lets you know all the names of the watercolors, which is really nice. And there's the watercolors themselves. And the box says that these are custom brushes. I actually kind of like them. They look like they're really nice for just a little small kit. Won't know exactly what they feel like until I wash this. I guess it's soap is what I've always used for my acrylics to keep the tips sharp. But once I get these in water, we'll see how soft these are. From what I've heard in a review online, you definitely want to use soft brushes for watercolors. Then if I can get this out, we've also got a very thin brush. Sorry about hitting the camera, guys. So we've got a fine tip brush, and then we've got a big brush. The good thing is I've tried other forms of watercolor, like watercolor pencils, so I do have some watercolor paint brushes if I don't like these, but I think these are actually pretty good. Keep in mind, I am a newbie though. I'm going to link to a professional watercolor reviewer that has actually reviewed this set. This set I bought with my own money, did not get it as a review. Eventually what I'm going to do is go through and test each one of these colors, but it's pretty big. I mean, that's a pretty big watercolor little slot. I don't think these come out, but I think that's pretty nice. So I'm going to put this back in here and we're going to open the paper. Let's see. I love this little box. This little box is very nice. Let's see if I can get it to latch. I'm going to have to get that level to get that to latch. 1 second. Sorry about that. Loki opened the front door and it is literally 95 degrees outside. So I had to pause this and run shut the front door. Now looking at this, I was going to try to close it. I see the problem. I've got to back these screws out just a little bit because this is a little bit too thick for it to actually close all the way over it. See? So it's just those screws are a little bit too tight. I'll get a screwdriver, fix that, then we'll close this and we'll finish the rest of the review. 1 sec. Okay, I just want to point out these are really short screws. So I'm going to screw this back in if I can get that little piece there, and I'll make it to the right level for this. And then I'll do that to the other side too. That's still a little bit loose. There, that'll work. I can still slide it, but now it's at the right level. This one needs to be backed out a little bit too. Hopefully I won't unscrew the whole thing this time. Good thing is this screwdriver's magnetic, and these little pieces here, it picks them up. So just re-screw it back. I want it where it can still be movable. Perfect. Now it should close. Put it both on there like that. There we go. Got it closed. So let's look at the rest of what's in the kit. This says it's watercolor paper, which needs to be a certain thickness. The YouTuber that I was watching, oh, I can't remember her name because I've just discovered her channel. I'll link her below. She said that you need to use, just like this book said, you need to use cotton paper. So I went ahead and bought a block of paper like it talked about in the book that is 100% cotton. These will be for bookmarks for my friends. But what's in the kit, I think they said I think the reviewer said it's cellulose paper. I can't remember. So it's not actually cotton. Now that said, it definitely is thick paper. And it's actually, you can see the type of paper it is right there. So I think it'd be really good for watercolor. I've actually got something similar to this for my watercolor pencils. Oh, now this is nice. This is what I'll be painting for the swatches, so we can actually see how this watercolor set performs. Now, given I'm not an expert when it comes to watercolor, I'm a newbie, so I highly recommend that you check out the reviewer that I'm going to link below. I wish I could remember her name, but I just discovered her channel yesterday. And she does an amazing review. She actually takes 2 hours to do an in-depth review of this kit. So I highly recommend checking out her YouTube channel. So in a little bit, I'll work on testing these out, and I'll get back to you guys later. All right, I'm gonna test out these swatches. I actually love that it comes with white, because the watercolor book I'm working out of actually calls for using white. So let's see. I like how smooth the brushes are. They're actually very nice. Let me add some water here, which you can't really tell with the white, to try to do the gradient. Yeah, I don't think with white on white paper we're going to be able to see that. Let me clean the brush off, and we'll go to the next color. You guys are probably wondering why I'm using my right hand when I'm left-handed. I'm more ambidextrous, and I've heard it actually helps your mental elasticity to actually use your non-dominant hand. So, trying some things out, we'll see how it works. And then add a little bit of the wet for gradient. Wow. Okay, maybe I saturated I think I saturated it too much with the paint. Oh well. I'm new to watercolor, so we're gonna see how this is gonna work out. Let me try just a little bit of the paint. That did the gradient thing more. Wow, these are really saturated colors. I'm used to just the regular little kits. It's an all-in-one kit, and this definitely does different. Let me add a little bit more in there. Wow, that's actually pretty rich color. Let's try the burnt sienna. Let's see what we get. Okay, that's kind of like an orange. Add a little bit more water. From what I've read in the book, you really won't know what these look like until they dry. So we'll have to see. As I mean, this is the largest palette that I've seen for this type of watercolors, because usually it's just the little tiny little swatches that come in the little kits. I tried using the actual tube paints. Yeah, that was a messy disaster. It's one of the reasons I love watercolor pencils, but I want to try actual watercolors. Getting the gradient that they show on there, they make it look so easy on YouTube. It's not as easy as what they said. Try the next one. There we go. Add some water. Okay. That actually works. That's doing a gradient a little bit more. I think it's neat how dull the colors look on the palette, but when you put them on the paper, they're actually pretty bright. I'm not sure how well this is going to show up on camera, because I've got the camera positioned, but I'm not actually watching myself in the camera, so I have no idea what this looks like to you guys. I bet the lemon yellow is going to be pretty. Oh yeah, that is pretty. At least one thing this has taught me before I actually try using it on real paper is that the gradient thing that I see all the YouTubers doing is not as easy as what it looks, because whenever you see the review that I've got linked below, the way she does it's awesome, but she is a professional watercolor cartoonist. That might be why hers looks so awesome. Curious how the olive green's gonna turn out. Oh, that actually does have a really good olive green color to it. Okay, maybe I've got the gradient on this one. We'll know when it dries if I actually did it right. Okay, this next one's a very funny name for green. Oh, that's a pretty green though. Get a little bit more water. Let's see, can I do the gradient thing? Maybe. That one might turn out. I don't know. This definitely has way richer colors than the other ones that I've tried. Definitely the colors pop more. And this is just with one coat. Oh, this one will probably do the gradient. Let's see. Yes, I think this one we won't know until it dries probably. But I think I managed to do it finally. I think. Oh no, the turquoise. That's one of my favorite colors. Let's see how this goes. Actually, that's pretty. And one of the things that made me get the Hannah MP kit is she's a YouTuber and a TikToker that actually teaches you how to use watercolors. And from what I've heard, she actually uses this set in a lot of her videos. So that would be really nice. You can do paint-alongs. And that sounds like that would be a lot of fun, especially for somebody new to it like me. I definitely need a little bit of advice on it, so we'll see. One of the things I like about the book, though, that I purchased separately from this kit, actually my husband purchased it for me as a surprise, is that it step-by-step walks you through in 30 days how to basically get started with watercolor. And I'm really looking forward to that because I want to actually make a lot of my merch for my Psycho Plant Lady shop, which I've named Dina's Designs. I want to have a lot of them where they're not just digitally drawn, but where they're actually drawn by hand and then digitized. And watercolor is just so beautiful. Oh no, I got that bleeding through. You got a paper towel? I made it bleed through. I got the paper too wet. Thank you. That's Dean off camera helping me. He's my backup. Let me rinse the brush, grab some more indigo, and try it again. Okay, that'll work. I'll do the gradient stuff toward the edge. I'll just start over here. Let me get a little bit more water. You can definitely get some dark colors with this set. You remember the other set that I tried this with years ago and it just looked really pale colors? Mm-hmm. Check these colors out. Right? Ooh, I love this violet. Now, I know a lot of YouTubers are talking about pigments versus dyes. I know nothing about that, you guys. I'm a newbie on this. All I know is I like these colors. They're bright, they're vibrant. I think people will love bookmarks made out of these. Because I've got some friends I want to make some for, and I think they'll love it. Ooh, this violet's got more pink in it. But whether or not this would be a really good set, I know it's better than the other sets I've worked with. I mean, I've never seen watercolors that do this type of vibrant color. Unless you use the tubes, and that didn't work out well for me, the tubes. Maybe if I take the tubes, squeeze them out onto a palette, let them dry out where they're less messy, it would work. But you guys know how clumsy I am, and yeah, the watercolor pencils worked better for me. Let's see, see if I can do the gradient thingy. We're gonna see if that works. Almost got all these tested. So far, the magenta is my favorite color on this. That is just a really nice pink. I'm gonna try doing that and rinsing it. And then starting this way and just let it bleed over maybe. Yeah, maybe that's more of how you do the gradient. I can't remember, I haven't watched enough YouTube videos on this yet or enough TikToks. So we're going off my memory, which may or may not be the best thing to do. This should be a brown color. Oh yeah, wow. That's definitely a deep brown. You rinse the brush. And try to do the gradient thing. This will be another brown. Oh, that's like a blackish brown. Then the next one we got is a gray. That's a pretty nice gray. And then the black. It's called lamp black. All right. And now my mason jar of water looks a little bit muddy, but we've got the color swatched. Then we just gotta let them dry. And yeah, that's what my mason jar looks like now. So I'm gonna let these dry and then take a picture of it and probably just upload the picture to the video, because I think that would actually do better quality than the camera. I'm not sure, because it's really bright colors. I'm not sure if you can see how bright these are on camera, but they're really nice. So let's let these dry. Well, I stood up and decided to look through the camera. This is almost dry, and hey, I did go do the gradients on this one right, and that one. But these colors are so bright. They're just as bright as what you see on camera, which I think is really impressive, because all the watercolor kits that I've gotten that were like this, you know, the little palettes, you would have to do multiple layers to even get something close to that bright. So I think these are really good quality. At least for me being a beginner, I think they're really good quality because I love how the colors pop. I can't wait to try working with these. Thank you for watching my review, guys. A little bit later, after I play around with watercolors, I may actually do a video of doing watercolors. I don't know yet. Let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in. And I wanted to give you guys an update on the monetization. I finally got over 3,000 watch hours again. And so far my application's in review. It could be 2 to 3 weeks though before it's reviewed. So I don't know how this is going to work out. But anyway, thank you for your support. I love you guys, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.